Hi guys, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to create a drone mechanism parts assembly using Creo parametric. So in this video, we are only going to create the parts. On the next video, we will create assemblies. On the next video, we will be creating the main assembly with the mechanism and the motion study. Okay. So first of all, let me just explain how to download and access the part. Even if you are a member and if you are a subscriber, this is going to be a different model since it took really a long time for completing this design. So I just going to release this as a separate a premium CAD model in our channel. So since if you already downloaded and access the parts that I've shared, so that will becomes under basic membership plan. So here this is different. So let me just explain how to download and access the parts. Okay. So first of all, let me just get into our channel homepage. So here we have our channel website. Okay, so same link will be available in this video description also. So here we have added a separate a link for the premium CAD models. So here once you click this link, a Google form will get opened. So here for this Google form, you have to enter the password, which is different, which is not like a normal password that I've shared you previously. Okay, so this will be the different password. So this is only for the premium CAD model. So right now I just created this folder. It has only the drone part. So in future videos, I will add all the premium advanced complex CAD model into this folder. So you can just access of it. Okay. So for the password, you have to join as a elite member in our channel. So here in our channel homepage, you can see the join option here. Here we have elite member option. So here in that you can see get password for the premium CAD model. So once you join, after joining as a member, you can get the password for the premium CAD model. Okay. So once you join as a member, you will get the password. If you have any issues on accessing the password, you can reach me through this WhatsApp group. You can join here and you can just ping me. I will help you how to get the password if you are facing any issues on the a membership issues. Okay, or else you can directly mail me also. Okay, so yeah, once you enter the password here, the Google Drive will appear on the top. Okay, I'll just show you how it will look. So this is the Google Drive link you will get. So once you click that link, it will be redirecting you to this page. Okay, so right now under premium model we have only drone because this is the beginning that I'm just created this folder. So later on I will just add other premium advanced CAD models like complex parts into this folder. Okay, so we have drone, and under that we have 2D drawing and 3D model. I'll just click on download here. So 3D model, once you click this folder, you will have all the parts and also the sub assemblies and main assembly also. I just downloaded it as a zip file. Okay, don't try to download the individual parts, just try to download it as a single zip file. Okay, as a single download like this. And also 2D drawings, right now it will be empty because I just I'm just preparing the files right now, so it will take some time. So I think before the day the video gets released, the parts will be available on this 2D drawing link. Okay, so you can access all the drawings. I'm just simultaneously working on the drawings and I'm just uploading it one by one. Okay, so I think after the if you are watching this video, definitely you can see some drawings in here. Okay, so I think it will be downloaded. Let me just get into Creo and let us check on the downloads. Yeah, we have this 3D model and we have this 3D model folder. So on inside that we have all the parts. Okay, so it has around 30 parts and 2 sub assembly and then 1 main assembly. Okay, I'll just open this final assembly. Yeah, so here you can see there are no other regeneration issues or what, there is no issues. We got assembled our part. Okay, so it will be working perfectly, and it also contains the motors also. Okay, so you can download and access the part like this. Okay, so now let's close this and let's erase all the parts, and I hope you guys have understood how to download and access the parts from the drive link I'm sharing to you all. Okay, if you have any issues, try to reach me. You can reach me through this contact page also, WhatsApp group or email. Okay, you can reach me for any kind of issues. Okay, so I'll just close this and let's get into the Creo. Let's create the part. Okay, and also, like, I forgot to tell you one thing, like, you don't want to get into the channel website and you don't want to click the premium CAD model link. Okay, you can directly find the link on the below description. So in this video description also, the 3D model link will be available. You can directly click that instead of getting into our channel website page. Okay, so now I'll just create a working directory, CAD models. I'll just create a new folder. Since already I have as a drone folder, this will be as copy. So now I just selected the working directory. Since we are going to create around 30 parts, I'm just going to save all of them into the single working directory. Okay, so the first part that we are going to create is assembly plate. At unit MMNS partiality ABS. Let's turn on all the datum planes. So now I'm just going to extrude it on the front plane with the center rectangle like this, and this will be equal on both sides. This is a kind of square. So 170 and 170. Let me just confirm it. Yeah, 170. So now I'm just going to create one cutout here. So for that, I'll just draw a line like this and a center line like this. So at first I'm just going to make it symmetric, this one with the center line, and now the dimension of this line, the total length of this line will be 240. Okay, so now I'm just going to offset this line to this direction. This will be 20 and the same on the other side, minus 20. Now I'll just join these two lines like this. Now we'll just delete the unwanted segments on the other side also. Okay, so now we'll assign the total dimension length as 40. This will be 40. Okay, and also we'll just confirm it whether this is 20. Yeah, and the total length is 240.42. Okay, let us just 240. Yeah, okay, so that's all. We just want to do the same on the other side. So let's select this line, this line, this line, and also this line, mirror it on the other side, and now let's delete the same on the other side. Okay, and also we don't want the inner lines. We'll delete this one also. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, like, I'm just going to create one more line inside here, so that will be offset of 10 from this line. Okay, and I'll just delete these lines. Okay, now we have to do the same on all the four sides. Minus 10, and this is minus 10, this is minus 10. Okay, now let's delete the same, this one, here and here. Now you can see our sketch has been completed, and we'll assign the dimensions, like the fixed dimension. This is 10. Other than that, all the dimension we have already assigned it. Let us confirm it. Like, this will be 240. Yeah, and this is 40. Okay, okay, so done. We'll just click on OK. So now the length of this assembly is, sorry, the part will be extrude length 6. Now we'll just add a couple of round features. So the round value will be 5. It will be for all the edges. I'm just click on right click and left click. So now you can see all the edges has been selected. or else you can use auto round feature also, but if you take auto round features, these edges will be also selected. Okay, so now we'll create a whole feature on this one. So extrude, sketch view. So here I'm just going to draw a circle like this, and before that I'll draw a center line. Okay, and a reference, this one. So the circle dia will be 4, and the dimension from here till here, this will be 6, and the height, this will be 6, and then one more center line which is like parallel to this reference. So this center line distance will be 13. Yeah, now we'll just mirror this on this side, and we'll mirror both the circle on the other side. Okay, so now let's select all the circles and mirror it on all the 4 sides. So this will be through all remove material feature, a hole. Okay, now I just want to create one more, like few more holes here. Let's select the surface, extrude, sketch view. So here at first I'll just draw a center line. So center line height will be from here, this is 5 because the total length is 10, and then I'll draw a circle here, one more circle here, and I'm just going to mirror it on the other side. So the distance will be 35 between these two circles, and the diameter will be 4, and we'll mirror the same on the other side. Okay, so this will be also through all remove material, like a whole feature. Now I just want to add some couple of holes here, extrude, sketch view. So I'm just going to draw a circle here. So the distance will be 40 and the height will be 40, and the diameter will be same as 4. Now we'll mirror on all the 4 sides, or else like you can extrude this and also you can make it as a pattern, okay, if you want. And this will be also a hole. Now I'm just going to add a rib feature here. So I'm just going to use the same extrude itself instead of using a rib. Yep, a line like this. So the line height will be 25, and the offset of this will be -3. Join this and delete the unwanted line, and now assign the dimension as 3, and we'll mirror it on the other side. Okay, we have to do this for all the sides, but we'll use the pattern tool for that. Okay, flip it, and this will be the 6 as the same extrude of like extrude length. Okay, so now I'll just mirror it, pattern it as an axis pattern. Select this axis or Z axis, equally spaced, 4 is fine. Okay, so now we created our first part. So if you want to add a round features here, you can add it like here and all. If you want to add, you can add it. Okay, so now we completed our first part. I'll just save it under our working directory and close it. Now let's move on to the next part. So the next part will be the blade unit minus part solid ABS. Okay, so now let's go for front extrude again. 2 concentric circles. ID will be 4 and OD will be 8. Extrude that to a length of 4 as a symmetric extrude. Now I'm just going to create a plane to start our blend feature. So I'll select this plane, right plane. I'm just going to create a plane with the distance of 2.4, and I'm just going to start my blend sketch from this plane. Okay, now I'll just rotate this to have a vertical view like this. At first, I'm just going to create a center and axis ellipse for the first profile like this. And the dimension, the total height of the ellipse will be 5, and the width is 1, and the angle is 45. Now I just want to add the second sketch. So the second sketch length, the distance will be 90, and I'm going to start the sketch. Okay, so here one more ellipse like this, like this. Okay, I think here we done that, so I think it will be good. Okay, so the dimension, this will be 20, and this will be 3, and the angle of this will be 45. Okay, and then we'll just want to add one more sketch, so that distance is again 90. Sketch view. So here we just want to create one more ellipse. Okay, so this height will be, sorry, dimension of this ellipse. Okay, already we have assigned this value as 3, and this is 1. Okay, so now we built our blade feature. Let's click on OK, and now I just want to mirror it, or I just want to pattern it. If you want to, you can mirror it. I just want it as a 3. I just click on it, 3, equally spaced, and OK. So now you can see we designed our blade here. Now on the top, I'm just going to have a tapered feature. So for that, I'll just go for extrude again. I'll draw the same circle of this. Okay, and here the length of this extrude will be 8, sorry, it will be 6, and with the taper angle, I'll just move it like this, so the taper angle will be 25. Yeah, and now I'll just add a round on the top, so this will be 1.8. Okay, so we created our second part also. Okay, so now let's save this part, and now let's move on to the next part. Okay, so for the next part, we are going to create a bolt, but in our assembly we are not just going to use one bolt or two bolt. We will be using some different sizes of bolts for the different joints. So for that, we will be creating one bolt, which is a generic bolt, and also we will add the family table for the remaining bolts, like instead of spending time more on that. Okay, so at first I'm just going to create a bolt generic part, MMNS part solid ABS. So now I'll just create a bolt without thread. Okay, I'm just going to use without thread. If you want to add, you can add the threads. So this is 5, and extrude length will be 2, and on the top I'm just going to have an external cutout, 6-sided hexagon here. So coincident, let's make it coincident with the middle axis, and the hex length will be 1.80, and let's click on OK. Now I just want to make it as a hole inside here, so flip it. So on the bottom, we'll just extrude a circle for the bolt. Okay, so for that, let's click on circle. This is like 3 diameter, and the length will be 10. So right now we are just creating just for our purpose. Okay, so later on we will be adding like those perfect dimensions and all. So here for the chamfer, I'm just going to use 0.3, and on the bottom the same 0.3. Okay, so now our bolt has been created, but we will be like, our requirement will be like, this is 3 dia, but we need as 4, and also the length of the bolt will be different for some of the joints. So at first we'll just name the dimensions, and then we will create family table for our required dimensions. Okay, so at first we'll just click on the extrude dimension. So 5, this will be head dia, enter, and this will be head height. Okay, so the next one is like, we will be like need of this hex length, so this one also like hex length th. Okay, and the next one is, this is the like bolt dia, and this will be the bolt length. Okay, so now we have added all the dimensions, so we'll just go for tools, family table. So now at first we just want to add the columns. So for the columns, I'll just go for dimension. Let's select the extrude. So here at first we need the head dia, so head dia and head length, and also hex length, and the bolt dia and the bolt length. Okay, so we have added the columns, and the columns will be visible here on the family table. Okay, so this is our generic part. So right now we have only one part, which is the present part, and now we have to add multiple parts. So for that, I am having an Excel data for the bolt. So this is what the dimensions that we need. Okay, so now I'm just going to copy it all, or else you can make it as a export of the Excel. You can do that. Okay, 3 4 5, and this is like, we need it for 6, 1 2 3 4 5, we need it for 6, and now I'll just copy all these things and paste it in here. So we have all the dimension, and we have paste, like we have created 1 2 3 4 5 6 bolts with a single instance, single generic part. Okay, so now I'll just verify it. So all the parts has been like success, since it is a standard dimension, so we don't want to worry about that. And let's click on OK, and also we'll save this part. So now if we get into our working directory, you can see all the 6 bolts are available in here, including the generic part. So now we can use all of them in our assembly. Okay, so now let's close this, and now let's create the next part. So we have did this for the bolt, now we have to do this for nut. So nut generic. For the nut generic, like for the nut we have only 2 nuts, so if you want you can create it on your own, like single parts. So I'm just going to use family table, since like it will be like very practicing if you are using the part, like the thing multiple times. Okay, so at first I'll just create a diameter of 3. Okay, and now I'm just going to add an hexagon, like coincidence with this and coincident with the horizontal, and I'll just delete this value, and I want to add a value for the radius of 3. Okay, so the extrude length will be 3, and I'm just going to add a revolve cut on the edges. I'll select the top plane, revolve, sketch view. So here I'll draw a line like this, and the dimension of this one is 0.5, and this will be 0.3. Okay, and constructive line here, since we can't create a center line here because we have to create a vertical center line, I'm just using the constructive line to the mirror option. And now let's create a center line for the revolve and remove material. Okay, so now we created, wait, I'll just check the dimensions, 0.3 and 0.5. Okay, yeah, fine. Okay, so now we'll just name the dimensions and then we'll create a family table. So for this, we just want to have only two dimensions. One is ID and the next one is OD. So for the ID, we will be selecting this 3 as ID, and for the OD, we will be selecting this radius value. So this is OD. Okay, now let's go for tools, family tables, and let's insert the column for the dimensions. I'm just selecting the value for the internal diameter and also for the outer diameter. So we just have only two columns. So the same, I have added values on the Excel sheet. I'll just copy the same, Control C, and here I'm just going to create two more rows and I'm just going to paste the values over there. Okay. So now I'll just verify the part. It is verified. Okay. And I'll save this part. Now let us check. We have bolt generic and also we have 6 bolts created by family table, and we have nut generic and we have 2 nuts created by family table. Okay. Now let's create the next part. Next part will be cam, like camera, the unit, and minus part solid ABS. Now let's close this Excel since we don't need that anymore. So let's go for front, extrude, sketch view. Now I'm just going to create a rectangle. This will be 32, sorry, this will be 36. This will be 32. Okay. And I just want to have the extrude length of 25. Semantic extrude. Now let's add the chamfers for all the 4 edges with the value of 3. Okay, so now on both the edges we'll create a circular extrude which will be useful for mounting it. 21 as a diameter and the extrude length will be 6. So now I'm just going to create one more extrude here with a diameter of 12 and an extrude length of 2. Extrude length of 2. Okay, so now we'll mirror both this extrude on the other side, and also we'll just add a couple of chamfers here and here. The chamfer value will be 1. And also I just want to add a round on the chamfered corners like this, here, here, and here with the same value of 3. So on the front we'll just create an extrude feature for the lens of the camera. Here it will be 20 and with the remove material depth of 2. And now we'll just add a chamfer for this. This will be as 2, as total length depth is 2. We're just adding the same value for the chamfer. Now I just create one more circle here and the inside diameter is 16. Now let's extrude this to a value of 1. Now I'm just going to add a round value for this as the same as 2. And on the inside I'm just going to extrude it the same circle which is already in here. sorry, I just confirm it. Yeah, and the extrude length is 0.75. Okay, so now we created our camera part. We'll just save it. Now let's get into our next part, which is cam connector. Unit as same MNS part solid ABS. So this will be like very simple. We just create a circular extrude with a diameter of 9 and the extrude length will be 6, symmetric on both sides. And now I'll just create one more extrude circle with the same center point with the diameter of 5.50 and the extrude length will be 1.8. Now on the same surface I'm just creating one more circle which is 8.50 and the length is 1.20. Now we'll mirror both this extrude on the other side, and now we'll just add a couple of round features. You can use auto round feature also for this, but I'm just going to do this manually since we have very less number of edges. If you want, you can use auto round since we are like adding the rounds for all the edges. Okay, so this part is done. We'll save this part. So the next part is cam holder. And the unit is MMNS part solid ABS. Now this will look like same on the first assembly plate we done, right? So the like that it will be the same. So this is of 38 of 38, both will be same, and I just want to draw a line like this and a center line like this, and I'll just make it this one and this one and this to symmetric, and the length of this line is 54. Okay, and then offset of this line is 4 and on the other side it will be 4. And now I'll just join these two lines on the other side also, and now let's delete the unwanted lines. Okay, and also we'll assign the dimension, the fixed dimension here. This one is sorry, from here till here this is 54, and the total from here till here this will be 38, and this should be also 38. Okay, so now we'll select all these lines and mirror it on the other side. Mirror on the other side. Now let's delete these inner lines and also these lines. Okay, now I just don't want these inner lines also, so we'll delete all these. Okay, so we created this part. We'll save this one. So the extrude length of this part is 17. Okay, and the round for all the edges with the value of 2. So I'll right click, left click. Okay, so all the edges has been selected, and now I just want to add a chamfer of 0.5 on this edge, on back also, both edges. Now on this face I'm just going to create a circular extrude, sorry, not a sectional view. So this is 26. Okay, and I just want to have a extrude value of 6, and I'll just add a round with the value of 2 here, and one more round on the top with the value of 1. Now I'll create one more extrude here. This will be the value of 12, and with the depth of 2 we are removing the material. Okay, so on the back, on the all 4 sides, I just want to have a hole to fix it on the assembly. So I'll just create a circle like this. Diameter will be 2.50, and this will be 16, and the height will be also 16. Now I'll just mirror it on all the 4 sides, and we'll just extrude it to a depth of 5 backside as a remove material feature. Okay, so we're done this part. We'll save this one. Now we'll go for the next part. So next part will be cam mount of 1. So we have 2 cam mounts, and the unit same minus parts already appears. Front extrude sketch view. So at first we'll just create a profile for this. Here I'll just draw a line, the length of 7.50. Okay, and then a height for this line, this is 3, and then a line like this, a line like this, like this, like this, and like this, and like this. Okay, so now we'll assign the dimension. This is also 7.50, and this is 12, and from here till here this is 3, from here till this point this is 16, and this is 6, and from here till this line this will be 10. Now we fixed all the dimension, and let's go for extrude. So this will be 15 symmetric extrude, and let's click on OK. Now I'm just going to extrude on the top, extrude sketch view. At first I'll just create a center line, and now I'm just going to draw a circle on this center line. So this will be 7, and this should be like coincident with this point. Okay, now flip it, or else let's select up to surface, select this surface. Now we'll create the same on this bottom face, extrude sketch view. Same, let's create a center line, same circle, and this is 7, and coincident on, we don't have this point, so we'll create a point on this intersection, and we'll make these two coincident. Okay, and let's close this since it is intersecting on the another surface. Okay, now flip it. Either you can mention the value as 7.5, or else we'll select the surface. I think that should be 7.5 only. Okay, so now I just want to here I just want to click on this extrude sketch view, and I'm just going to make a circle with an extrude of the circle of the diameter of 12 with an extrude length of 2. Since we have created a hole feature with the same diameter on the cam holder. Okay, so then on the bottom with the same diameter of 12, I just want to create a hole, okay, to fix the cam mount too. So you will get to know why we are doing this on the while doing assembly. Okay, so this will be 2, but here in this case this will be remove material. Okay, so we'll save this part. So the next part will be cam mount 2, cam mount -2. and this is also as part solid ABS. Front, extrude, sketch view. So here I'm just going to draw a line, and this is going to be a symmetric on both sides, and the line length is 40. And then same, I'm just going to write down one more line. So this is 38, and this is also symmetric from here till here, symmetric to this vertical center line, and the height of this two is 7.5. And now I'll create a line like this, like this. So now this height will be 7.50, and the total height from here till here, this will be 21.50. And then one more line like this. Okay, also before that we'll just create a line like this, and then we'll join like this. Okay, now the dimension from here till here, this is 24, and this one is also 7.50, and this one is also 7.50. Okay, so now we fixed all these dimensions. Now let's delete these two lines, and we'll just mirror everything on the other side. Okay, so let's click on OK, and I just want to have a symmetric extrude of this with the length of 18. Okay, and like the same which we done before, we have to do the same extrude, like a circular extrude on the top. So here I'll just create a center line. First of all, center line, a vertical center line, not angled. Here I'll draw a circle, and this diameter should be 21, and it should intersect with this edge. Okay, and the extrude length will be the same as 7.5, or else you can select the up to surface. Okay, and I'll just mirror the same on the other side. And now I'm just going to save creation of another circle in this point with the same diameter of 21, and also I'm just going to flip it up to the bottom surface. Okay, now I'm just going to create a hole on here to fix this on the mount 1 with a diameter of 12. So this should be an extruded part. Since we created a hole on the first part, this should be an extruded part to fix both. And here I'm just going to create holes on both the sides, because this is where we are going to place our cam. So on the cam on both edges, we have created two extrude diameter of 12 and the depth of 2. Here we have to create a hole to fix that. Same, mirror it on other side. Okay, so we done this part. We'll save this one. So now let's create our next part. Our next part will be cam plate. This is MMS part for ABS as usual. So now I'm just going to create a rectangle with a length of 60 and with a height of 43. Extrude this to a length of 1.2. Okay. So now I'm just going to create some cutouts in this surface. We'll start with some couple of holes. One is here and another one is here. Dimensioning like this will be 12.50, and from here till here this will be 5, and here it will be 5.50, and here this circle dia will be 2.50, and the height will be 16, and this will be also 16. Now we'll mirror this here, and we'll mirror this on the other side. Now here I'm just going to create a line like this, and this will be symmetric, and this is of 25, and one more line, this will be also symmetric, 15 dimension, sorry, symmetric, this point to the center line. Okay, so the height will be 3.90 and then a line like this to complete the sketch. Let's make this as 4, sorry, yeah. Now we'll mirror this on the other side. Okay, so all these will be remove material. Okay, now we'll add chamfers on all these edges. So the chamfer value will be 8 for, sorry, like for all these edges. Right click and left click. Okay, so now we'll save this part and we'll go to our next part. So next part will be same cam plate, but this will be for the top. It will be like a similar part, but slots will be different for the holes and all. Okay, so here the same as 60 and 43. Instead of doing this again, you can directly use the save as like a copy option of this model of our previous model, and you can edit the features. But since we are just going to replace some few parts, so we can do it manually. Okay, so let's create a circle. Before that, I'll just flip it like this to it's like vertical position. Here circle, straight circle with a different dia, and here at a circle with the same dia of these two. So this will be 5.50 and the distance will be 12.50 and the height will be 5 and this will be 3, this will be 15 and this will be 12.50. Now we'll mirror this one to the other side and let's mirror everything to this side. Now, like our previous part, I am just going to create a cutout here. This will be symmetric and this will be also symmetric. So this will be 25 and this will be 15 and this will be 5. Now let's select these things and let's mirror it on the other side. Okay, now flip it. Let's remove material through all and let's click on OK. So now we'll just add this chamfer of value 8 like the same which we did for the previous part. Okay, so now let's save this part and let's get into the next part. So the next part will be head block and the unit will be MMNS Spot Solid ABS. So this will be like very simple part. Front sketch, extrude and a rectangle with a length of 170 with a height of 50 and the extrude length will be 60 on both sides as a symmetric extrude. Now I'll just add the round of value 3 on all the edges. Right click and left click. Okay, or else you can use the auto round also for this if you need. Okay, so on the back I'm just going to extrude it 2 circles, can mirror it. So the circle dia will be of 6 and the distance will be 4 and the height from here to here this will be 4. So the extrude length will be 10 as the same. Okay, so that's fine. That's all. We'll save this one also. Okay, and also let me just confirm how many parts we did. So this is 15 and 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we just left with 10 parts. Okay, so the next part here is head cap bottom. Okay, unit as part solid APS. Sorry, I think I have selected the different unit. Okay, that's fine. Okay, or else I think we can create a new part with the same name. I'm not sure like whether I have selected the same unit or not. So head cap bottom unit as a minute parts APS. I think last time I have selected the realistic. Okay, sketch view. So here a rectangle, this will be 90, sorry, the square 90 of 90 and the extrude of 10. So now on this edge I'm just going to create an arc. Sorry, I went to something else. Extrude sketch view. So here I'm just going to draw a circle. So this diameter will be 322.55 and coincident of this point to the circle. Okay, I'll just draw a straight line to end this and let's delete the circle. Okay, we'll mirror this on the other side. Okay, now this will be remove material through wall. Okay, so now let's add the round on all these edges. So the round value will be 5. So inside this we have to create a rectangular cutout. So for this rectangle, this is of 75 and this is of 50 and this will be remove material. As I said before, this is a rectangular cutout. So now let's add the round for the inner edges also, the same value of 5. So let's select the top face and I am just going to create a rectangular feature and this will be symmetric and this length will be 36. So now this is going to be towards like down direction, but we just don't want it as a flat surface. We just want to start the extrude with the depth of 5. Okay, sorry, with the depth of 2. So for that I'm just turning on the side 2 and flip it towards down and this value will be 2. So from that I'm just going to need an extruded value of 14. Okay, so this is what I said. And on the bottom we don't want to have this full rectangular feature. So for that I'm just going to create a corner rectangle like this and this length is going to be a value of 9. Let's mirror it on both the sides and I just want to remove the material till this surface. Remove material. Okay, now we'll add a chamfers on all these edges. I'll just select it manually here, here and also here. So the chamfer value will be 4. Okay, so now let's add some holes on the top of this surface. So here I'll just draw a circle like this. This will be of diameter 3 and this distance is 12.50 and this is 15. Now we'll mirror it to all the 4 sides. Flip it through all. Okay, so on the bottom we'll just add a round here with the value of 2 on this edge, sorry, not here, this edge and this edge. Okay, and on the top I'm just going to create a cutout for the bolt. So here I'm just going to draw one more circle, value of 10. delete this, let's delete this, and let's delete this. Okay, I'll mirror this one on the other side, and let's mirror all these for all the 4 holes. Okay, and this depth is going to be 5 towards downwards, and the thing is like we have to remove it. Okay, and also I just want to create 4 holes on the corner to place it on the assembly plate. That hole diameter will be of 4, and this will be of 40, and this will be also 140, because we have created the same hole with the distance and diameter on our assembly plate for placing this one. Okay, so this should be a fully remove material feature, so let's flip it through all and okay. Okay, so now this part has been completed. Let's save it. Now let's create the next part. That will be head cap for the top, MMNS part solid ABS. Okay, so here at first I'm just going to create circles with the distance of 40 and 40 in both horizontal and vertical, and the diameter will be 12, and I'm just going to mirror this like 4 sides. So the extrude length for this will be 60. So on the top of this extrude I'm just going to create a sketch. So here at first I'll just project the circle, and I'm going to draw a line up to the midpoint, and here a line like this and a line like this. Now let's delete this part of the circle, and let's mirror it on the other side, and also let's mirror it on the bottom also. So now we just want to assign only one dimension, that is the distance between these lines. So this is 45. So now let's click on OK, and I'm just going to extrude this to a length of 5. That will be towards downwards. Okay, now we'll add a round on this corner, and on all the 4 corners. So the round value will be 10. Okay, so on the bottom of all these 4 I'm just going to create a hole with the diameter of 4. Okay, let's mirror this towards down, and this depth is of 8. Flip it, and it is remove material. That's fine. Now on the top I'm just going to create some couple of holes. Let's create one single row, and then we can mirror it, and then we can pattern it. Okay, so this diameter will be 3, and this distance will be 12, and this will be 30, and let's click on OK. This will be through all remove material feature. I just want to pattern this to a count of 5 pattern, direction pattern. So up to this phase. So this is like number of members is 5, and the spacing is 15. Okay, so this will be like useful for to mount something on the top of the drone. Okay, now I'll just go for round again 10. This round will be on this bottom edges here and here. Okay, now this part is completed. We'll save this part. Now let's create the next part, which is motor underscore body. This is a rod, MMNS per solid ABS. So here 2 concentric circles with ID 10 and OD 15, and the extrude is 200 length. That will be symmetric. So on this rod, I'm just going to create a slot in this face. So extrude, sketch view. So that will be a distance of 11 from this reference. So I'll just make it as a reference here. So this will be 11 and this will be 3, and here this should be remove material. So I'll just expand this and remove material. Okay, so this part is completed. We'll save this part. So now the next part is motor. And this is MS part solid ABS again. So now at first we'll just create a circular extrude with a circular diameter of 55.60. Extrude that to a length of 31. And now here I just want to create some cutout on this face. So for that I'm just going to use a revolve feature for that. So here I'll just draw a line like this, and I don't want to make any equal constraints just for now. Okay, this should be equal like here. Yeah, I'll close that. So this is 1.3 and the dimension from here to here, this is 26.30. So since we have this value, yep, like we can use this and this, so everything is equal, right? Now I just want to have a same on the bottom also. I just create a constructive line to mirror this part and create a center line like this, and let's click on OK. Now I just want to remove that material so that we created this cutout feature. So on the top I just want to extrude a circle. So this circle is of diameter 24 and the extrude length is of 2. And here again on the same top surface, this, like, I'm just going to create a constructive circle first of all to create a path, and then we'll place our circles here. Or else like you can create a circle of 2.5 with a distance of like 3 also. Okay, I think this will be 3, right? I think 3 or 6, sorry 6. I think this is the radius, right? I thought it was diameter. Okay, so we'll remove it, flip it, and this will be 6. Okay, now we'll pattern this one as an axis pattern with this center axis. So the number of patterns will be 6. Okay, now we'll create a center hole for placing the motor rod. So here I'm just going to create a circle of this, will be diameter of 4. Okay, flip it, and the depth of this will be 10. Okay, fine. Now let's add a chamfer on here. Here the chamfer value will be 0.30, not like this, and on the full top, on the full bottom. Okay, and on the back I'm just going to create some like a circular cutout. For that I'll just create 2 circles. So the inner diameter will be of 17 and the outer diameter will be 31, and here I'm just going to create a line like this and mirror this line on the other side, and the distance between these two is 4. Okay, and now I'm just going to create a center line like this for the mirror, and this angle for the center line will be 45. So now we can click this line and we can mirror it. Okay, and I just want to mirror the same on the other side, and let's click these 2 lines, mirror again to this line. Now let's delete the unwanted lines, these two, and this one, and this, and this. Okay, so this is what I want. I'll just make this as a depth of 2 towards the back side as a remove material feature. Okay, so now I just want to add some couple of rounds since we have sharp edges here. So the round will be of value 2. So now I will be using 2 rounds. One is for the top edge, like this edge and this edge, and another round for the bottom. So 2 different values for that. This edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge. Okay, and then as I said before, I'm just going to use one more round. That will be a value of 2, but this is for inner edge, like here, 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 and here, 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 and also here. Okay, done. Now I just want to add one more feature here. This is of circle with a diameter of 15. I'm just going to create it as a whole feature with a depth of 2 at the back. And then one more extrude, circle with the diameter of 11. And the extrude length is 3.30. Okay, so now for placing this motor into the holder part, we have to create slots for the holes. So for that, I'm just going to create a circle with a diameter of 2.5. Okay, so before that, I'm just going to create a constructive circle. So this diameter for the radius for the constructive circle is 12.50, or the distance is 12.50. That's up to you. Okay, so now I'm just going to extrude this to a depth of 7, flip it back. Okay, and then pattern it as an axis pattern. Select the axis, 4 number of members. Okay, and then chamfer for these rounds 0.30 here, 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 and here. So now we just want to create one more feature like that's like up to you. Like if you want, you can create that is for like a wire feature. Okay, so for that I'm just going to create a line like this, tangent and symmetric on both sides. So the length of the line will be 14, and the distance from the mid till here, this is of 23. Okay, and then if you want, you can mention the value. I'll just mention it as 10, and I'll complete the sketch. Anyway, like we are going to remove the material. Okay, so I'm just going to remove the material up to this surface. Okay, so now I'll just add a round on these edges. So round with the value of 2 on this edge and on this edge. Okay, now let's select this space and extrude and sketch view. Now let's create center rectangle itself. So for that I'll create a center line. Now let's create a center rectangle like this. Here it is 12 and the height will be 4.35, and the dimension from here till here, this will be minus 0.45. Okay, once again guys, let me just check whether my microphone is working. Okay, sorry. Yep, and now let's extrude this. This extrude value is of 16. Okay, now we'll make this as a full round feature. Select the top surface, control key, select the bottom surface, full round. Sorry, I think that is different. Sorry, I just select this edge, go for full round, select this edge and this edge. This is also full round. Okay, so now as I said before, I'm just going to create a circular extrude for the wire. So here, like this is not a center point that I'm going to use. So this is the center point, and I don't want this tangency, and this diameter is 1.50 into 2. So 3, one more circle equal and one more circle on the opposite side that will be also equal. This is 3.8 and here 3.8. Okay, now the extrude length we need is 16, yeah, 16. Okay, so now we created our motor part. Okay, so now let's save this part and let's create our next part. So that will be like motor holder and MMNS part solid ABS. Okay, I'll just confirm it, like how many parts are remaining, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So still we are remaining with 6 part including this. Okay, extrude, sketch view. So here at first I'll just create a circle, one more circle. So this will be 12 and this will be 45. Okay, and then I'll create a line like this. So this will be symmetric and the line height will be 25 and the distance from this it will be 20 and the total overall distance from here till this midpoint this will be 40. And now I'll join the line into the circle, and also I don't want it as a full circle, I just want the circle to end in a value of 14 from the midpoint. And now let's delete the unwanted segments to complete our sketch. Okay, now I just want to extrude this to a length of 25 as a symmetric extrude. Okay, so now I'm just going to create one more cutout from the top plane. For that I'll create a line like this and complete the sketch like this as a triangle. Now we'll assign the dimension from here till this point. This is 36.64 and this height is of 20, and let's click on OK. And this should be remove material like this on both sides. Okay, so on the top I'm just going to create one more extrude circle with a diameter of 35. So for that circle I'm just going to complete it with the line. Okay, and also I'll remove the unwanted lines since we don't want to have this value, we don't want it since we are going to use remove material. Flip it, I don't want to remove the entire feature, so I'm just going to use the blind to have a specific value like this. Okay, so this is of 5 and from 5 like we can add whatever value we want, anyway through all, or we can click on through all itself. Okay, okay, on the back let's create a hole of circle like this. So the circle diameter is of 15 and the height from here till here this is of 12.50 and this will be through hole like this. Okay, so now we'll add a round on this edge and on this edge. This will be 12.50 and then one more round here. This is of 5. Let us just check whether it is on other side also, and then here on this edge and this edge. Okay, and then one more round with the value of 2 on this edge, and then one more chamfer with the value of 1.5 on this inner edge. So now I'll just create one more hole on this surface, extrude, sketch view. Here I'm just going to draw a circle like this. The height is 12.5. Anyway, it will intersect on this small line. If you have a reference of that, you can use that. Okay, so the distance from this edge to the midpoint, this will be 11. Okay, and I just want to have a depth of 2 from the surface toward inside. That will be remove material. Okay, let's mirror it on the other side, and now I'm just going to create a hole on this through all hole that will be a diameter of 3. So I just want it up to the next surface like this, fully like a whole feature like this. Okay, okay, then I just want to create 4 holes on the top to fix the motor on this motor holder. So for that, same circle with a diameter of 2.5, that's what we have given the value on the motor, and I'm just going to create a center line intersecting with this midpoint, but the center line angle from here to here, this will be 45. Okay, and then the circle placement from here till the midpoint of the center line, this will be 12.50. Okay, now let's extrude this. This is a kind of through all, flip it, remove material, through all hole, pattern it as an axis pattern, select this axis, number of members is 4 and equally spaced. Okay, so now we completed this part. We'll save this part, close it. Let's click on new, and our next part will be motor rod. So this is just a circular extrude for connecting with the motor. So just a circular with an extrude and the chamfer. Okay, so here just a circle, and the diameter of the circle will be 4, and the length of this will be 16, and then I'm just going to have a chamfer on the top 0.30. Okay, now let's save this part. Okay, I'll close this one, and we are just left with 4 parts. Okay, so now let's create the next part. Our next part will be rod mounter underscore, this will be bottom. Okay, mmns part solid EPS. So here let's go for the extrude center rectangle like this. This will be 40 and this will be of 11. Okay, and the extrude length is of 38. This will be symmetrical. Okay, now I'll just add a round on all the 4 edges. Sorry, not like this. Here, here, and here on the round values of 5. Okay, now let's select the surface, extrude, sketch view. Here I'm just going to create a semicircle hole with a diameter of 15, and let's click on OK, flip it through all, remove material. Okay, and also I don't want this as a flat surface, so let's make it as a curvature. For that I'm just going to create a center line first of all, and then a circle like this, and the distance of circle from the midline till the circle, it will be of 40, and the radius will be 48.46. okay, remove material, flip it through all, mirror it on the other side. So okay, now we'll add holes for placing this into the motor. So for that, circle like this. So this will be 6, this will be 4, and this will be 14. Okay, we'll mirror the same here, and we'll mirror the same here also. So this will be through all, flip it through all. Okay, I know like I'm going a bit faster, but this looks like a easy thing, so that's why I'm just rushing it. Okay, so like if you think like I'm just going faster, just forgive me. Okay, so this is fine, we completed this part, and we'll just save it, and let's move on to the next part. So the next part will be the same rod mounter, but this will be top. The next previous part we have created for bottom, so this will be part. So this one, front, extrude, sketch view. So at first just create two circles. So this one of 15 and this one is 26, but the 26 here, this one is 0.50. Now I'll just create a line like this and intersecting with the top circle. Now let's delete this one, delete this one. So this height is of 6.5 and this is of 12.5, and let's delete this one also, and let's delete this one also. Now we can mirror it to the other side and the values will be same, like 15, 26.5, 12.5 and 6. Extrude this to a length of 38. It's not 8, like 38. And now we'll add round on all the 4 edges with the same value of 5. And then we will be creating the same cutout like an arc feature which we have done previously, right, for the previous part. So the same distance from here to here, this is of 40 and this is of 48.46. Okay, either we can directly mirror this instead of mirroring as a separate feature. We can mirror it, flip it, through all, remove material. Okay, now I just want to add a round feature on here and here, and this will be 10. Okay, now I'll just click on this surface and extrude, sketch view. Here I'm just going to create a hole. So this hole diameter will be 4 and the distance from the mid it will be 14, and from here till this circle it will be 6. Okay, so at first we'll just do it for one side. Okay, and then we can mirror it on other edges also. Okay, if we want, like through all, remove material, and you can see like we have clicked this surface, so that's why we are facing this issue. No issues, like we can go for option and we can go for blind, and 4 is fine. Let's click on OK. Okay, and then click on same surface again, extrude, sketch view. So here I'm just going to create one more circle with the same center point. So this is of 10, and like this is not going to be a circle. I'm just going to create it as a complete loop like this, and then delete the unwanted segments. Okay, now this is going to be remove material. Let's click on OK. Now I just want to mirror all these 2 extrudes on this side, and let's select all these 3 and mirror it on the other side. Okay, so that's all. We did this part. We'll save this part. We'll create our next part. This is going to be a stand for our drone, same MNS part solid ABS. So now in plane, extrude. Here at first I'm just going to draw a line like this. So line length will be 15 and one more line on the top. This is not equal, this will be 10. So the distance from this end to this end is of 45 and the height value is 110. So now we can join these 2 lines. I just want to extrude this to an extrude length of 150. So here I'm just going to sketch on this plane extrude, sketch view. At first I'm just going to draw a line like this, and this will be symmetric on both sides, and the line length will be 90. So apart from this line, we are just going to remove all the things. So like this, I'll complete the sketch like this. Okay, so we are going to remove everything, both sides, remove material. Okay, so now we are going to create some internal cutout section here. So for that, I'm just going to use offset loop, this one -10 towards inside, and a line like this, and this line from here till here, this is going to be 5, and mirror this line on the other side. And now we'll delete these two additional lines which we don't want. Okay, so now this is going to be a remove material feature through all. Okay, now let's add round features. So the round value of 5, and I just want to have round on all the edges. So this is of 5 on all the edges, including this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, done. So on the top, let's create some holes to place this into our assembly stand. So for that hole, let's create a center line here, a circle. So this is going to be 4, and the height will be 5 since the total height is 10. Yeah, fine. And let's create same circle with equal dia with the distance of 35, and let's mirror it on the other side, and this is going to be through all remove material feature. So now you can see like this is a kind of thing like where we can't add a bolt perfectly. So now I'm just going to create one more extrude on this to make it perfect for inserting our bolt. So this will be 8.50, mirror everything on the other side, and let's do the same on the mid. Okay, and this is going to be an extrude up to the edge of this. Okay, not a remove material, sorry. Okay, so this is what we need. Okay, so that's all. We save this part. I think we did all the parts. Let me just check it. No, we just left with one part. Since it is 15 15, we just did 15 and 14. We left with one part that will be like wire connector. So here this is like wire connector. Yeah, my minus parts ready. Yes, yeah. So here for this, our first sketch will be difficult, like we have some complex dimensions. So I'll start the sketch from here. So this is of 10 and with a height of 9, and then one more line, and this will be also 10, and one more line like this, and the dimension from here to here, this will be 4, and the height from here to here, this will be 2. And then let's draw a straight line. So this will be 42, and then here I'll just draw a slanted line like this and a line like this, where these two should be parallel, and this line length should be 42, and the height from here till here, this is 3.50. And on the other side, let's draw a line like this, but this is not till the bottom, like this, and like this. So this dimension of this line is 6.30, and the height, sorry, dimension from here till here, this is 3.25, and yep, this not like this overall length, like from here till here, this is like 71.2. Okay, I'll just confirm it. Okay, so this is 71 point, I don't think so, like this is not an exact value. Once again, we'll just delete this dimension. Okay, I think, sorry, the overall length, this one will be 71.2. Okay, so since we know the overall length, here we can mention as 71.20 divided by 2. So this should be a negative value to make it on the mid. Okay, so now we did this. One second, let me just check my microphone. Sorry, like I've been using this microphone for a long time, that's why I'm just having an issue, like I don't know how long it will record the audio. Okay, so this is of 25. So on the back, I'm just going to create a feature here, like creating two circles. So the circle diameter will be of 12, and also the circle should place in between these two. This is of 9, or else we'll create a center line. Sorry, not an angular. Yeah, like this, and then we'll make these two coincident. Okay, so, and also like I think we should make it coincident on these edges also, like here and here. I think tangent, sorry. Okay, it should be done on both sides. Okay, now we'll create a line. So before that, let's draw one more circle on this edge. So this is of diameter 3, and then we'll merge it with the tangent line, and here it will be like straight line or tangent line, that's fine, and it should merge on the other circle also. Okay, and here the same, from here like this, I'll create a center line, a vertical center line like this. Now let's delete these segments. Since we don't want, we can mirror it all at once. Delete the circles, delete this one, and we have our sketch. Let's delete this one also. Now let's mirror everything to the other side. Now I'm just going to extrude this up to the top surface of this edge. Okay, now let's flip it back. Here let's add a round value of 1.50 on here, sorry, on here. Okay, now once again, I think this will be like 0 point something. I'll just make sure the value is correct. Okay, sorry, I think 1.4. Okay, and on the back we'll create two circular extrudes. So for that, I just want to create a center line. Okay, so for the center line, I think we should create a constructive line to find out the center point of this distance. Here we can create a circle like this, and the circle is of diameter 8, and the dimension from here to here, this is 6.25. Let's mirror it on the other side. Okay, so this is of extrude 4, and now we'll add some round for this. This is going to be a value of 5, sorry, 4, and here also 4. If you want, you can make it as 4.2. That's the edge. Yeah. Okay. And around on this edge and this edge, the value will be 0.50. And now we'll create some more extrudes here like this with a value of 5. Mirror it other side, and this is going to be a hole with a depth of 0.3, and same on the end of this depth surface. Let's create one more sketch. This is like for a screw head feature. Let's create a circle like this. Let's create a line like this, and let's create a line like this. Center line, vertical center line, horizontal center line. I think this is not vertical. Let me just confirm it. Yeah, vertical. And let's mirror this, the center line, and let's mirror this with the center line. Now the distance of these two will be 0.2 into 2, like 0.4. Here also 0.4. Now let's delete these lines, unwanted lines, to complete our sketch. Here also, and also here. Okay. Now let's extrude this to a value of 0.2, and let's mirror this on the other side. Okay, so now we'll create one more extrude on the center point with a value of 2.50 on both sides, and the extrude length of this is 3. And then on the top, I'm just going to create 3 circular extrudes. At first we'll create at the mid. So this is of 1.50. So the height is like from the reference. Okay, so this will be mid. This one is mid, and circle like this. This is 2, and let's mirror this on the other side. And the extrude of this is 3. Okay. Now I'm just going to create one more extrude on the top surface with the value of circle 1.3 as a diameter. Mirror it, and the extrude of this one is 2. Now let's add chamfer on top and bottom, top, bottom, this top, this bottom, and this bottom, and this bottom. Okay, so the chamfer value will be 0.80. Okay, on the back, let's click on the surface, extrude. So here at first we'll create a center line for the mid, center line on the mid of this circle, sorry, center line on here also. On this one, this is of 5. One more circle on this side. Sorry, these two are equal, and the distance from each other is of 8. 8. Now let's mirror this one to the other side, and the extrude length, like this should be on both sides, so I'm just going to use side 2 as 2 selected up to this face, and this one will be a value of 6. Okay, 1 second, let me just check my microphone. So on the back, extrude again. This is of circle 3, diameter 3, mirror it, and on the center we'll create the same, and this should be a depth of 6 towards back. Remove material, and then chamfer of 0.3 on all these 3, here, here, and here, and then round of 0.5 on back, here, here, and also here. Okay, so on the top I'm just going to create a rectangular extrude just for a design. So rectangle, center rectangle. Okay, I just want to find out the center point also to create a center rectangle. Yep, so this is of 34 and this is 16. Yeah, the extrude length is of 1. Now we'll add a round on all the edges of 0.40. Right click, left click, right click, left click, and this one also right click, left click, and this is 0.40. Okay, so now we can't directly place this into an assembly without a proper axis. So for that we have to create an axis. So I'll just select the surface, extrude, sorry, not an extrude, just a sketch on the surface, and I'm just going to create a place a 3D point here, center line, and then point like this. So the point height from the bottom till here, this is of 7.5. So by using this point we are going to create an axis. So with that axis we will be using that axis to place it on the assembly. So on the point, on the surface. So now we got an axis, so we can use this to place in our assembly. Okay, so let's save this one. So with this we have completed all the 30 parts. As you can see here in my working directory there are over 30 parts. So I think I have like not missed any of the parts. I think we covered everything. So now we'll just get into the assembly. So now let's erase everything. Now let's create the sub assembly, which is like a wing sub ASM for our reference. I just have mentioned anyway, like it will be showing as assembly. And MMNS, sorry, I forgot to select this as an assembly. Sorry. Here, wing sub ASM. MMNS ASM design ABS. So in our assembly, this is only for the wing part. So this is going to be first sub assembly. So the first part that we are going to assemble is, I forgot the part name, like rod mounter. It will be like for the bottom. So I'm just going to place this as a default position. Okay, so now we'll create assembling our next part. So our next part will be motor body rod. So this rod I can directly go for like a pin of this axis, and I just want to move it in this face and this face. So since it can rotate, I don't want this part to be a rotational part. I'll just flip it and I'm just going to create a new set which is of general, and I'm just going to place this plane and also this plane, not as a coincident, as a parallel. So the whole slot should be horizontal. Okay, now we can't able to move this part. So the next part is we'll close this one. So this is rod mounter top. So where is our rod mounter top? So this is our top for this pin, axis, axis, face, and this face. Now it will be fully placed, but it still can be rotated like this. So for that we'll place it on other axis also. New set, cylinder, only axis is fine to fix. So now it can be moved. Okay, so now we placed these two. Still we need to place bolt and nut. We will do that later after the assembling all the parts. Now let's assemble our wire connector part. So while making this part, we have added an axis for assembling this part. So we are going to use the same axis to make this as an assembly. So this is going to be pin of this axis and the axis that we created. Okay, and for the face, I'm just going to select, like this face, and also I think we can select the plane. Yeah, so this is going to be, just undo it, everything, flip like this. We'll just go on with this general constraint itself. So axis, this is fine, and I'm just going to select this plane and this, not this plane, like this plane, and this should be parallel, and we still have this horizontal motion. For that, I'm just going to fix it like a new set from this surface to this surface. This distance value I have measured it as 38, and let's click on OK. Now we fixed our part. So the next part will be motor holder. So motor holder, and here I'll just rotate it, and I'll just rotate it towards down. Okay, so now this is going to be pin axis and the main axis of this. And now here we don't have a flat surface to select for the pin. For now I'll just select these two surfaces, not as a coincident. We just need it as a distance to move it, and this distance is 22, which will be placing on this exact position. But here we have this slot which is missing. Okay, so for that I'll just go for new, and this is cylinder. Let's select axis of this one, and let's select axis of this one. So now both the axes are got coincident, and now we can enter the bolt and nut to fix this part. Okay, so now we'll assemble the next part is our motor. So for the motor, let's just rotate it. Yeah, so on the bottom we have 4 slots, so we can directly merge it with the pin joint and the bottom surface and the top surface, but we still can't rotate it. So for that we have to place these 2 holes. For that, new set, cylinder, this axis and this axis. So this should be towards inside. Okay, that's our main goal. Okay, so we placed this part, and the next part is like motor rod, and here we just have only one condition: it should be on top, the chamfer position. Okay, so pin here and here and on the bottom face and this bottom face. Okay, so this is going to be the driving connection from which the blade will rotate. Okay, So this connection is where we are going to provide a servo motor. So I'm just going to rename it as servo connection. So it will be very useful for us while connecting a servo motor. Okay, don't forget to click on enter. If you forgot, the name won't be shown here. Okay, so now after that we can like add the bolt and nuts. So for that we have different type of bolt and nut. I'll just turn on only the axis. So the first bolt that we are going to assemble is 2.5 with the depth of 12. So 2.5 with the depth of 12. So this bolt is for here, this assembly, this slot. So for this pin, select this one and select this one, and select the bottom face and select this bottom face. So it is perfectly placed. Let's click on OK. Okay, fine. Now we'll just do the same, repeat it, axis and surface, and axis, surface, axis, surface, axis and surface. Okay, so now we have to add one more bolt and nut for this feature. So this is a diameter of 3 with a depth of 25. Assemble diameter of 3 with a depth of 25. So this is why we have created family table. This will be like very useful for us to create. So this is a kind of not a very complex, like this is a kind of medium parts. So if you are designing very complex part which has more and more bolt and nuts, this will be like very useful for you to create. If you have created a library on this will be like really useful for you. Okay, so for this I'm just going to add a nut. So nut will be the same of 3 dia. So nut 3 id, pin, axis, axis, and we can't select this face since we selected the axis of the bolt. Let's select this one and let's select this one, and then we can like assign the distance value till it meets the surface. Okay, so here we need to add it as a distance and we'll move it further. I think this will be 1. Okay, so we placed this one also, bolt and nut. So here after that we have to make these two fixed together with the assembly plate also. At first we'll just insert the bolt. Okay, so for the bolt it will be like 4 dia 21.5 as a depth, sorry, 4 and 21.5, and this will be, before that I'll just drag it near and flip it like this. This will be pin, axis, axis, face, and this face. Okay, we'll repeat it. Repeat, axis, surface, add, axis, surface, axis, surface, axis and surface. Okay, so we assembled our first sub assembly. Okay, so we'll save this. Here also if you want you can add the blade part itself, but I'll just do it on the main assembly itself. Okay, I'll save the sub assembly here, close it. So now let's erase all the models that we have used. Now let's create our next sub assembly. So that will be our camera part. So cam underscore sub underscore ASM. So now also I forgot to change this to assembly. Now I changed this to assembly and MMNS ASM design ABS. Okay, good. So the first part that we are going to assemble is like a head cap. So with that head cap we can start the assembly. So that is going to be head cap bottom. We'll just make it as a default constraint. Okay, and now I'm just going to flip it like this. So this is will be the top position. Okay, so on the bottom we'll just fix the plate. So that will be cam plate. We have two cam plate, one is for top and one is for normal. So that will be cam plate. And now we just want to make sure the slot. So this, whether this is fine or this is fine. I think Okay, we'll assemble it and we'll come to a decision. Okay, so I'll just go on with this position pin of like, I think, no, sorry, I think we have to use the top for this. So cam plate top, yeah, this is the perfect part. Since this is the top, we're going to use the top. Okay, so here pin, axis, face, and we can still rotate the part. So for that, placement, new set, cylinder, this axis and this axis. So now we fixed our part. We can add later on all the bolt and nuts. Okay, so here we have to connect the cam connector for this. So here, where is the cam connector? Here at first I'll just go with pin, again axis, this axis, and here top face, sorry, not the top face, so the top face and this bottom face. So now this is good, and now we have to repeat it on all the four sides. Axis and surface, good, axis, surface, axis, surface, axis and surface. So we assembled it all the four sides. So now we can fix the bottom plate also by using this. So that will be our cam plate, which we tried to assemble on the first time. So here now only we have to assemble this one. So this one is like same pin, same this axis, same this axis, but the face here it will be like different. I think we have to select the bottom face with this top face. I don't know why. So we have selected this one, sorry, this one. Okay, perfect. Now we'll repeat the same. Repeat, axis, surface, add. Sorry, this is fine. Sorry, I just thought it was cam connector. Okay, so now our next part will be cam holder. We have to place the holder for placing the camera. So where is our cam holder? Here, let's flip it down. Since it is a square, we can assemble with any direction. Same pin, axis, and this face and this face. We can rotate it and we'll face these two axes together. New set, cylinder, this one, this one. Okay, we placed this one also. Now we'll place our cam mount 1. I'll just rotate it, flip it like this. Okay, like this, or like, sorry, not like this, like this. Okay, so now we can fix it by pin here, 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 and here. Okay, so this is good. I think this can rotate, so that's why we have did this. So right now we don't want to rotate it, so I'll just go for right view and I'll just make it, sorry, make it straight. Okay, now we have to assemble the next part, mount 2, sorry, mount 2, rotated, same pin, this one, this one, this face, and this face. I don't want this to rotate, so I'll just create a new set. This is of general, and I'll select this face and this face, this should be parallel. So now we can able to only rotate this one. Okay, so here you can see this part is also getting rotated. I think we haven't placed this one. Yeah, you can see this is not fully placed, so we have to place this one also. New set, cylinder here and here. So now we'll try to rotate it. So only this one is rotating, this is not rotating. Okay, so that's what we need. Okay, so now we can place the final part in this assembly, which is our camera. 1 second. Yeah, so cam, flip it, and we have two constraints. One is pin with this axis, and then cylinder on other side. Okay, so placement, new set, and here, second guys, yeah, so here I'll just select this axis and this axis. This will be cylinder. Okay, so now you can see we can rotate this one, and also we can rotate this one. Okay, looks good. Perfect. So now we'll add the bolt and nut for this one. So first of all, we'll just add a bolt here. So for this is of diameter 3 with a depth of 12. Diameter 3 of 12. Same pin here, here, and here, and this surface. Okay, we'll just repeat it. Repeat, axis surface, add, axis surface, axis surface, axis and surface. Okay, and now the nut on the bottom. So the OD will be the same as 3. So nut 3, ID will be the same. So pin again, select the axis, select the axis, and select the surface, and select the bottom surface of the net. But here this will be a distance, so the distance value is 0.8. Sorry, I'll just assign it once again, 0.8. Okay, now we have to do this for all. Repeat, surface, axis and surface, axis, surface, axis, surface, axis and surface. Okay, so I think we done all the required bolt and nuts here, so we can add these for in our next main assembly. Okay, so now we can save this assembly. Okay, model is not generated since we have moved connections. Now it is saved. Okay, now we'll close this one. Let's erase everything. Now let's get into new assembly. So this is going to be the drone final ASM. Okay, here the MMNS ASM design APS. So the first assembly part will be the assembly plate. So for that, I'm just looking on it. Oh, sorry, assembly plate, and this will be default. Okay, so now we'll just place all our components here. At first, we'll just place our first sub-assembly. So the first sub-assembly is of wing sub-assembly. I'll just make it here, flip it here, rotate it like this. Now we'll just go for pin, axis, axis, bottom face, and this top face. Oops, sorry. Yeah. Okay, I'll just move it like this. But here we have placed only this one. sorry, I think we have to flip it. Okay, I'll just undo it, sorry. So this is where we are going to start. I'll just rotate the part. Okay, I'll just hide everything since we need only axis. It's like a bit confusing for me. Pin this axis and of this axis and surface the surface. So this is placed, but we still rotate our part. I'm just going to click on new set. This is cylinder, this axis and this axis. So now our part is fully placed. So now we have to repeat this for all the 4 sides. Right click, repeat, axis, axis, axis. So first this axis, surface and this axis. Good. This axis, surface, this axis. Okay, the final one, axis, surface and axis. Okay, so we assembled our first part. So with this itself we can complete our bolt, sorry, on assembling the nuts here. Okay, so for the nut I just hide everything, sorry, hide all these things, having only the axis part. So here this OD will be 4. Let me just have a quick overview of that. Yeah, 4. Sorry, I forgot. Now let's go for inserting the nut with the ID of 4. Same pin, axis and nut axis and the face of this one and this one. But here we will be having some value as a distance of 1. Okay, so now we have to repeat this for all the bolt and nuts, sorry, bolts, axis, surface. Okay, so now we did this bolt and nut for all the edges. So now we fixed the wing part. Now we'll fix the stand. Okay, so for that let's assemble the stand part. Now I'll just move it here, flip it here, flip it like this. So this is also pin, first axis, this axis and the surface and the surface. Now this still can be moved, so we have to fix the other end by using the cylinder constraint, which is only for the axis, like this axis and this axis. Okay, now we have to do the same on the other side. We'll just go for a repeat option again, axis, surface, axis, axis, surface, axis. Sorry, I think I flipped it. Repeat, axis, surface, axis, add, axis, surface and axis. I think last time I flipped it and I worked on, that's why. Okay, so now we placed our stand, but that is not enough. We have to add a bolt for this. So for the bolt, the values will be 4 of like 4 dia and 15 of length. So we'll have a bolt 4 of 15, same pin, flip it, axis, axis, face and face. Okay, that's fine. Now we have to repeat it. axis and surface, axis, surface, axis and surface, axis, surface, axis, surface, and yeah, one more here. Okay, so we placed this one also, and now we have to place the the head part, the head block. So here we have head block, so this should be on the other side and it should be on the top also. I'll just go for general, this bottom face and this bottom face, like this would be coincident, and this one should be coincident, and let's turn on all the datum planes. And I'm just going to create one more general constraint, which is for mid of this assembly base and the mid of this base head should be coincident. Okay, so now we can see this is perfectly placed. Anyway, like we will be adding some top and bottom fixer for this. Okay, so for that top head we have a cap, so top head cap for the top side, so we have to fix this into this assembly holes. So this one is also pin, axis, axis, face, face, and we can rotate it, right? I'll just place that on the other side also, new set, cylinder on this axis, and oh my god, where is the axis of, I think this one. Okay, it's placed. Okay, now it is placed perfectly. Here you can see, right? Now on the bottom also we have to fix, but on the bottom already we have did the sub assembly, so we can fix the sub assembly and we can bolt all together. So for the sub assembly it will be like cam sub assembly. Here we have to flip this, we have to flip this, and now let's make it pin on this hole to the top of this hole, and the face will be this face on the bottom face. We fixed it, but we should fix it on the other end also. So new set, cylinder, this axis and this axis. Now it is perfectly placed and we have assembled our drone part. So we have assembled the top and bottom, but we still want to place a bolt in between these two. So that is 4 of 24 bolt, 4 of 24. I'll just rotate it towards top, go for pin, axis, axis, face, and the bottom of the bolt face. Okay, now we have to repeat the same on all the 4 sides. Axis, face, axis and face, axis and face. Okay, so finally we did our assembly. We just left with only one part, that is our blade. Move it, this is on top, that's fine. Pin to the axis of this one and an axis of this, and top face of this, and also bottom inner face of this blade part. I'll just rotate it, yeah, here. So now it is placed on the rod. Now we have to repeat this on all the 4 sides. Axis and surface, add on this axis, surface, this axis and surface, this axis and surface. Okay, good. So now we have assembled our part. Once again, like now the last thing that we have to do is to add the servo motors on all those 4 motors. Okay, application, mechanism, and here we have servo motors. So here we can't able to select the servo connection, which is the servo connection, since we have multiple connections here. We don't know what will be the servo connection, so that's why we have renamed it while creating the subassembly itself. So if you forgot that, if you don't know about that, you can watch our previous video. In our subassembly we did this one: rotational axis, angular velocity, and this will be 200 degrees per second, and one more servo on the next servo connection, rotational axis, angular velocity of 200 degrees per second coefficient, one more servo here, here, and this one is same, 200. Servo again, and our final servo connection, rotational axis, angular velocity 200. Okay, so now we have added all the 4 motors for our part. Okay, so now let's add appearances for our part. So that's the very main thing of our part, to have a very good look. So for that appearance, I'm just going to use this metallic steel light for all the parts. Okay, and then we are going to just like change the color to the dark. Okay, I'll add for this, this, and this, and for all of these plate, and this one also, and also the assembly plate, and this pipe. And okay, so now we'll just change the color to a value of like little bit darker. Okay, so I don't know the exact value, we'll just freeze it here. Okay, and also I just want to have a same color on the surface of the motor, like no, including the motor itself, like entire motor. I just want to have the same color. Here I can add the same color on the top here, like intent surface of this one, and this one, and this. Okay, done. Now we'll just add the next color. I'm just going to use the same color, but it will be like different color combinations here, here. Okay, for these 3, and also for the connector. Okay, let's do the same, and then we'll change it and we'll find out the remaining colors. Okay, I think I forgot to give colors for the motors, like these 2. We'll do that. So edit, this one, I think like this is, sorry, I forgot to note the exact values. I'll try to match it. Yep, yeah, this is fine. I think like this will be a little bit. Okay, this is good. Okay, so yeah, we'll add the color for the motor also, as I said before, this one and this one, left with the colors. And on the top of the motor surface of this and this, I'm just going to have a color of red, and also the red for the intent surface of this one also. Okay, so what else? Like, yeah, then we need to add two more colors. So sorry, on the bottom also this cam connector will be this color, here, 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 here. The next one is same, this one for this part. So this color code, it will be like different of 67, like a blue, 106, 158. Okay, so this blue, and on the back these two should have that red color. Okay, fine. And then we'll go for this metallic aluminum again for the blades. Okay, so the color code for the blade will be somewhat darker, like, yeah, 96, that's fine. And we forgot to add the color for these two rods, sorry, three rods. Okay, so everything is filled up with perfect colors. So this light blue we need to add here, this blue for the surface to this one to have a better color, like a different color for the cam. So for this code, the color code will be 91.8, 173.6, and this will be 235. Okay, so this is fine. And if you want to have a realistic view, you can make it as ceramic and all, but I'm not going to have a view on the shading with edges only, not on like shading with reflections. So now we'll just add the color for the bolt and nuts also. Since we have more bolt and nut, I'm just going to select each and everything here in the model tree itself. Okay, and we still have some things to color up on the sub assembly itself. So okay, inside the color, inside if we color means like we have to like save the color code. So instead of that, we can color it manually here itself. Okay, bolt, nut, and bolt. Okay, same color, bolt to this bolt. Okay, same color, bolt to this bolt. Okay, and same color from bolt to this bolt. Okay, and now we have left with this cam. Here also we have some bolt and nut. Okay, so now you can see like we have created our assembly. We have done the appearance and like everything we have done. Just minimize this one. Yeah, so now we'll just run it and let's have a view how it is running. Let's regenerate it and let's save it for once. Now let's go for application, mechanism analysis. Okay, second time will be 100 and let's reduce the frame rate to 5 to have a faster motion. Let's run it. Okay, I think direction is towards back, so we can flip it, no issues. We'll go for the motor, flip it. So let's do the same for all these three. Okay, so now we can run it to have a check again. Yeah, it looks good, right? So that's all guys, thanks for watching, and if you want more videos related to mechanical engineering or any other content, you can comment below so that I will upload more and more videos based on that. Okay, so thank you guys. With this video we have completed our drone model. So we will be back with our next like whatever like advanced CAD model tutorials. Okay, so that's all guys, we'll see you in the next video with very interesting content. Until then, bye.